So I'm going to start this haircut by taking my adjustable blade clipper with the number 3 guard attachment and going over that interior and getting it nice and even. So after I get that top or the interior nice and even, I'm going to stick with my adjustable blade clipper with the number 2 guard attached and start to debulk that parietal ridge area. So once I've debulked that parietal ridge area, I'm going to take my detachable blade clipper with the number 2 blade attached and make a nice fade zone right under the parietal ridge. Alright, let's get busy. So after I've debulked the haircut, I'm going to take my detachable blade clipper with the triple lot blade attached to create my bald line. Now I don't punch in my initial bald line with my trimmer. I like to create a soft line because the softer the line, the easier it is to make that blend. As you can see, I'm just going to work that triple lot blade all the way around his head and create a nice balding foundation for the haircut. So after I've created that initial bald line, I'm going to take my edger and go right under that line, being very careful to not create another line because that edger is about a 5/0. So what this is going to do is create a nice smooth surface to give our shaver an easy pass through. So once I finish with my edger, I'm going to grab my double foil shaver to get that surface nice, smooth, and close to the skin. Once I get that exterior area nice and bald, I'm going to grab my detachable blade clipper with the 0A attached, cutting 1 inch above the triple lot, which is going to create my first fade zone. As you can see, I'm passing through the same section with that 0A blade, and this is just to ensure that I didn't miss any hairs on the first swipe through. And once I'm completely satisfied with that zone, I'll grab my number 1 blade and go 1 inch above the 0A, creating the next fade zone. So if you're familiar with the detachable clipper system, my next blade that I'm moving to is going to be my 1A. And you guessed it, I'm going to go 1 inch above that 1 blade. This is creating your next fade zone. So once I've cleared that 1A fade zone to my liking, I'm going to grab my 1.5 blade, and you guessed it, I'm going to cut 1 inch above that 1A fade zone. So now that we faded all the way back up to that parietal ridge area, I'm going to grab my number 2 blade and I'm just going to clean that parietal ridge. So once I've cleaned up that parietal ridge area with the number 2 blade, I'm just going to go work myself back down in the fade to try and get anything that I may have missed. So now I have the 1.5 blade, and again, I'm just working back down. meaning I'm going to use that 1.5 blade, and then next I'm going to be with that 1A blade. Next, I'll grab my number 1 blade and clean that zone for any hair I may have missed. As you can see, that fade really started to come alive and take shape. Once I have a good foundation on that fade, I'll grab my trimmers and go to work on that lineup in the beard area. Once I get that lineup nice and crispy, I like to go back to my adjustable blade clipper and do a little detail work in the fade. In this step, I'm not trying to create any new lines or change the foundation of the haircut. I'm just using the corners of the clipper while the clipper is on its teeth and flicking out. Once I get that fade right where I want it to be, I'll start on the transition from the fade down into the beard area. I'll use my number 2 blade, my number 1.5 blade, then my 1A, then my 1, then my 0A, and keep working those blades until you get a smooth transition. So I didn't show it on camera, but every one of my clients receives a shampoo with their service. I do believe clean hair cuts and shows better. What you're going to see me doing here is working on that nape area, getting it nice and clean. A lot of times men grow hair on their shoulders, which protrudes above their shirts and interrupts that nape area and can really put a damper on that fade.